Your on-the-ground strategy for a Walt Disney World theme park adventure just took a new turn. The Fast Pass concept is out, a new Lightning Lanes concept is in, but is it worth the $15 per person per day? It's the subject of today's Tech Check. We have your back with an evaluation of the new My Disney Experience app. Amy Iverson riding a little high this morning. She is here fresh off, as her sweatshirt communicates, a Walt Disney World vacation. It's so good to see you.
I know, it was so fun, but I'm like, people need help with this app because it was a lot of work, I have to say.
It's work. I think that's a good word for it. It's overwhelming for some. So the app is super new. What is your top of the line thought on this new app?
Well, they did this to make it easier for everybody, and it does make it easier, but my first thing is just to say, if you have a Disney World adventure planned anytime in your future, get on this app now. Just start playing around because it takes familiarity for you to be able to do it on the spot when you're in the park.
It's not something you do when you're on the plane ride over. So for people who don't know, give a little more detail on what this technology offers.
So the app isn't brand new, but there are features of it that are brand new. So they really tout that they're helping you plan your day so that when you get there, it's easier. And so they have all these little aspects that it's a customized itinerary for you so that when you get there on your day, you're not frantically trying to figure out what to do. You've kind of made that plan before then, and now it's just helping you execute it.
Like the type A in me loves this concept, and then there's part of me that is like, can I just show up and have the magic unfold at my feet? Not anymore.
And there are people who are like that, and if you're someone who doesn't care if you go on the latest ride, then go for that. But if you want to hit these hot rides, you have to plan.
And that's what Amy's been gushing about all day, is just how cool these hot new rides are. So give us your best do's and don'ts, including on the things I know that cost extra, even within the app. First, you say you want to link your tickets or your resort stay confirmation.
Yeah, so the minute you buy your tickets, that's what I'm saying. Create your account on the app, go in and link those tickets. And if you're going to stay on the park, which I say, if you have it in your budget, and sometimes it's more affordable than you think, stay on site, because there are a lot of perks, including getting into the park early, that free transportation right to the front of the park. And then you link that to your app. And if you did it online, you just use that same login and then it hooks it all together.
And then you create lists.
Yeah, well, you create your family and friend list. So if you're going with your sister and her kids or whatever, you want everyone on that same family and friends. So when you make dining reservations or tickets or any attractions reservations, it's all going to pop up for you at the same time.
You want us to learn about Disney Genie.
So these are terms you need to learn. So Disney Genie is this customized itinerary service that's complimentary for everyone using the app. You use the Genie, it's going to give you hints. I'm going to say make your own tip board. Tip board is the one you're going to use all the time on the app.
Tip board, okay.
That's when you go in and say, these are the attractions and rides I have to do. So what's going to happen is those are going to populate to the top of your app. So on the day you're not scrolling through the 50 rides at Magic Kingdom trying to find the one you want to get to. It's at the very top.
Now there's Disney Genie and then Disney Genie Plus. Plus is what you pay for.
Plus is what you pay for.
Is it worth it?
Well, I say yes. If you care about hitting those rides. So Fast Pass used to be free. If you're familiar with that, that's what Genie Plus is. But you're going to go on, it's $15 per person per day. Now, if you're going to use it for the entirety of your stay, you can book that Genie Plus when you book your tickets. But if you're only going to use it one day, like you say, oh, I don't think I'm going to use it for Epcot, then you have to book it that day. So at 12:01, you're eligible to book that Genie Plus, or you can do it just before 7 a.m. when you go to ride it. But know that when you use these Lightning Lanes, the Genie Plus is going to give you can only use it for each ride once per day.
Okay.
This is kind of part. So remember the Fast Pass, you couldn't have like a million of those.
You could only do like one at a time.
So this is kind of what it's like. You can book the first one at 7 a.m. Then you can book additional ones every 2 hours after the park opens or after you redeem one.
Okay.
So you can have more than one at a time, but it's unlikely because either 2 hours have to pass or you have to have redeemed one of those Lightning Lanes.
You can buy additional ones though, right?
Well, so this is the other thing. Individual Lightning Lanes, that's another thing you have to know. There are 4 rides right now. These can change at any time, Disney says, but there are 4 rides right now that are hot.
Okay.
And there's one in each park, of course, so you can't like not go to one of the parks if you want to see all of these. But the only way you can ride 3 of these rides is either waiting in the long line or buying an individual Lightning Lane only for this ride for an additional costs.
So when you were there, it was the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train.
That's in Magic Kingdom, the Avatar Flight of Passage, which is in Animal Kingdom, and the Star Wars Rise of the Resistance. Let me talk about those three for just a second. So this is why I say stay on site, because you get in 30 minutes early, and I feel like the best way to do it is, it's called the rope drop. So the second the park opens, you're there, and you're there before anyone else who's not staying on site, and you go to that ride.
The race has begun.
You go to that ride, because the only other way you can ride that ride, if you don't want to wait in that long line, is to pay an additional cost just for that ride. And they range from $7 to $17 per person, just for that one ride.
Oh my goodness. We need a new word for sport, because this is a sport.
Yeah.
This is a sport. About a minute left. The final kind of underscoring piece of advice is just get the full use out of the app, right?
Yes, because there are some other really great things you can do that will save you time, especially if you have little kids and you don't want to wait in a lot of lines. So you can order food beforehand at all these different restaurants and then just set your time. I'm going to pick it up at noon. This is what I want. You just go right there, pick it up. Also, if you're shopping in the stores, you can just scan and buy your things right on the app and then just show someone a QR code on the way out. So I think just all these things that are going to eliminate waiting in lines, which is not the fun part, and then heighten the part that is fun.
Yeah.
And it does cost more money, but I'm saying if you plan well, it can be done.
I was going to say, too bad we're broke after this, because it sounds like we need a vacation after this trip, is what it sounds like.
You know, but your mind will be blown and you'll have memories for a lifetime.
I'm so glad we have Amy as our recent on-the-ground guide. You're writing this up for your Deseret News article?
Yes, because there's a lot more details that you need to see. So yeah, Deseret.com/Amy.
If you've got a trip anywhere in your future, or even in your dreams, mind, eye, then go to her article. We'll link you from our website. Thanks, Amy.
Thank you.